Alright guys, so now we're going to cover some basic stretches for jiu-jitsu, for mixed martial arts in general, and good for mobility. Okay? So we're going to start off by stretching out our arms, and we have a few different variations. We're just going to run through them nice and slow. First one I just called my windmill. Just going to get my shoulders nice and loose, bringing them forward, and then bringing them back. When I do all these stretches, I try to do these all for anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, depending on if it's at the beginning or the end of my workout. So at the end of my workout, I tend to probably go more to 30 seconds to a minute for each stretch, but in the beginning, more of a static stretch. I just want to loosen up my body without getting my body, I'd say, too loose, okay? Because I don't want to be too loose, but I also don't want to be too stiff, okay? I just want the perfect amount of blood flow to get ready for my exercise. Next one I like to do, just my small circles is what I call it. My small circles rotating forward and rotating back. These are also good for loosening up the shoulders. My next one I like to do is a cross chop. I'm just going to take my arms, alternating top to bottom. Same deal, I'm going to open up my chest on this one, loosen up the shoulders even more. The next one, I'm just going to go up and down with the arms, kind of like I'm waving. This is also going to help open up the lats, get those arms nice and loose, and get some blood flow going. Another one I'm going to do is just a very simple one, pulling the arm across, coming directly under, okay, or right above my elbow, bringing it across almost like I'm doing an arm triangle. Again, on all of these, I'm looking to hold for 15, probably to 20 seconds, and then I'll alternate. Then I'm going to reach, grab my elbow, pull this directly behind my head, and also look to stretch out my lat. The deeper you pull on these, the better off you'll be. Obviously, don't hurt yourself, but start somewhere at a moderate pace and stretch that you feel comfortable with. Then we're to switch. After I kind of do like a general stretch of my arms too, like I just did, I'll kind of shake everything out, kind of roll the arms, roll the shoulders, make sure everything's nice and loose. I like to also stretch my hands out, my wrist, okay, because in grappling we do a lot of grabbing, of course, so I'll typically grab my 4 fingers here, I'll pull back just a little bit, look to stretch the forearm as well, and get the hands nice and loose, and then I'll alternate. Another one, very simple, but also really important, we're going to do another neck stretch as well, is just stretching the neck, loosening it up a little bit. So I'm going to go left to right. I'm going to go nice and deep on these. Then I'm going to go up and down. Chin all the way to the chest. Then I'm going to rotate, doing like a half circle here. And then I'm going to alternate back. Then I'm going to go all the way around in one direction. And then alternate back. If you have any extra kinks too with the neck, you can also grab your neck here and pull, and hold that for an additional amount of time too. And switch. And then as we move on to the legs, we have quite a few different leg stretches we're going to do, okay? The first one I like to always practice is stretching out the quad a little bit, so I grab my foot, pull up, and really look to drive my hips forward as I pull on my foot. That way I get a nice front quad stretch here. And then I switch. Okay, then I do my basic feet together, touch my toes, and for some people mobility is an issue here, so you just get as close as you can, or you can do what I call a pumping motion. So if you feel like it's really hard for you to touch your toes, I really kind of pump and push down slowly, in a slow manner, so I get as close as I can to my toes without hurting myself. Okay? If you're comfortable and you can get all the way down, of course, you're going to bring your hands to the mat, or you can grab the sides of your ankles or your shins, keeping your feet close together, head down. We're then going to switch right over left, same deal. This is going to be more of a deep calf stretch. Then we'll switch. And another one we're going to do is kind of stretching like the front again of our hip, and this is going to be by grabbing our knee and our shin. So I'm going to reach up, and this one takes a little bit of balance here. As you can see, it's kind of hard to stabilize, but after you do this for a few seconds, you should be able to pull and hold your leg up for at least 10-15 seconds. Pull and hold, and switch. Same deal, try to get it up as high as you can, keeping your balance, and come back down. Okay? Next what we're going to do is open up the legs nice and wide, reach for the center, also stretching out the groin, opening up the hips. So again, in the beginning on these, if you're not super flexible and you feel very tight here, okay, you could start at a very moderate pace. You can kind of go halfway. If you feel like this is your halfway mark, you can reach down, kind of move, alternate side to side. Now we're getting into a little bit of more of a mobility stretch here. Okay, if you feel very tight, or you can go straight down with your hands. And some people that are very flexible, they can put their head all the way to the mat, like so, and stretch here. Okay, so that's all preference. When you start feeling, you can go a little deeper, you can open up, and you can come down even to your forearms and just hold again for another 15-20 seconds. From here, I like to go right into a seated position, and now we're going to really get some deep stretches on the legs and the hips. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my very traditional stretch, feet together, looking to reach, touch my toes. And again, if you see, just like I am, I'm a little stiff today, so I like to do that pumping motion. I'll kind of pump forward, can't quite get to my toes yet. I'll put my hand on my shins, and I'm pushing forward. And then I'm going to switch left leg over right leg, and this one's really nice for the glute. I'm going to look to hug my knee like a rear naked choke, and I actually will practice like I'm doing a rear naked choke. I'll grab my bicep, put my hand on my shoulder, and I'll pull my leg in as tight as I can, and I'll squeeze. Okay, so I kind of get to work on my choke attack and my choke defense here a little bit, and I'm pulling everything in. And then I switch. Same deal. Get nice and deep, elbow deep. Grab like you're going for a choke and squeeze. We're going to bring our feet in and go into what we call a butterfly stretch. I like to grab the toes, pull the heels in as close as you can to the groin, and try to flare your knees out, bow those knees out. And also, a common mistake when you're stretching and doing the butterfly stretch is slouching with your back. If you can, try to bring your chest forward and really push in a little bit deeper. Then we're going to open our legs back up, same deal, looking as deep as we can, spread those legs. Also keep in mind that when you're doing this deep groin stretch, that you try to not let your toes point out. You actually want to try to roll your toes in. Try to keep your knees pointing up, which will give you a deeper stretch. And so when you do this, same deal, try to reach forward, keep your head low, hold the position. And then I always like to alternate side to side and do a little bit of a rotation here, which again is going to give you some more mobility and stretch out those legs even more. So when I rotate, I do like this. Kind of making that half circle motion again. I keep my hands on the mat. Okay, and I can switch, go in the other direction, side to side. I can also keep my hands on my legs once I feel comfortable enough and I can brace myself. Again, I'm alternating. Then I can go side to side. And then I can also reach each side. Trying to get over my shoulder if I can, okay, or over my head. It's a little bit of a struggle, but if you're flexible, you might be able to reach all the way over your head and get to your toe. Then we're going to bring the legs back in. One leg's going to be bent and one leg's going to be straight. Same deal as before, try to keep your knee on the mat if you can, and all based on flexibility. Either reach for your toe or reach for your shin. You're going to switch. Same deal, try to keep that knee towards the mat. Okay, and then one of the last groups I like to do, this one's going to be really good again for my glutes and also for my hamstrings. I'm going to put my leg in at a 90-degree angle, keep it bent, roll my other leg back, and I actually will post my hand on top of my foot to keep my leg from sliding. And then I just try to drop my hips as low as I can. This is really good again for your glutes, your hamstrings, okay? And you can put your forehead on the mat too if you want. Switch. And then going for the groin, I'm just going to split my legs open, similar to kind of a butterfly position. I'm going to reach down. I'm just going to keep my weight low. I'm going to sit back towards my heels a little bit to really get that deep stretch. I'm going to hold this position. So I'm going to bring my knees together here. I'm going to reach my hands out forward to the mat and pull myself back. So as I reach out, I'm actually going to drive myself back on my heels. Also give myself a very deep lat stretch. Then I'm going to take the left arm, I'm going to shoot it under the armpit, bring my shoulder to the mat, head on the side of the mat here, hands going to come up. Just going to look at rotate and twist as far as I can go, loosening up that back. Then I'm going to switch. Okay, and then another one we're going to do for the quads, or sorry, for the calves here, is just going to be a simple calf stretch. I'm going to switch the angle so you can see. I'm going to go up into almost a push-up position. I'm going to raise my butt up nice and high, keeping my legs relatively close together. Now I'm going to do what I call pumping the calves. So I'm going to go bent leg, straight leg, bent leg, straight leg. And as you can tell, I'm on my toes the whole time. Get a nice pump. If you feel like you got a really tight calf, you can pause. Hold that position for a few seconds, and then switch, and then switch. Okay. The last stretch I'm going to do is for the neck. Okay, I think it's really important to always roll the neck out if you can. Again, you always want your neck to be nice and loose because this is a big part of your body, of course, that you're going to be using when you're grappling and striking, and your neck's going to get pulled on quite a bit. So we're just going to do a really basic neck bridge, okay? And I'm going to show you guys from a couple different angles. So as a beginner, when you're first doing a neck bridge, because you obviously don't know how much weight your neck can carry, you do this a couple ways, but I always say start with your trading moves. Meaning, when I first start, I'll start on my knees and on my hands, okay? Because I want to get really light on here, okay? I don't want to put too much pressure on my head. I'm going to go chin to chest. So I'm just going to rock and roll. Rock head forward, and then roll it back. When I get a little bit more efficient here, then I'm going to get off, okay, of my knees and go onto my toes, but still posting on my hands. I'll show you guys this from a different angle. So instead of just moving back and forth here, I'm now going to post up, I'm going to rock and roll. And then when you guys get really efficient here, you can bring the hands out of it totally. So you could bring your head forward a little bit, put your hands forward and back. Same deal. You're going to go forward and back, forward and back. And the same can be done side to side. So now when we work our way side to side, I'll start in the same position. Okay, I'll keep my hands and knees on the mat, and I'm just going to try to go ear to the mat, ear to the mat, as close as I can get, side to side. Now when I go side to side, I recommend keeping the hands and knees on the mat for this one, because your neck's not as strong as you go laterally. So I typically don't like to pull my hands or knees out. It's a little bit too much pressure for me. But if you feel comfortable and you want to post up, you can always practice. Same deal as before, coming up and putting more weight on the neck. One more time for another angle here. Again, if you feel comfortable, you can post up. And that's it. So again, guys, just to cover a couple of things we went over. We try to get the whole body when we do our warm-up stretch, okay? We want to hit everything. I'm a really big believer to full body everything when I train, okay? I don't like to isolate just one area. So whether that be lifting weights, doing jiu-jitsu, anything, I like to try to cover everything, okay, in one class, in one training session, even if it's just a little bit of everything, whether it be again, stretching the legs, stretching the arms, lifting the upper body, lifting the lower body, showing a guard pass, showing a sweep, covering everything I think is really important. So when you're doing these stretches at home or in the gym, again, at the very beginning, when you first get on the mat, spend 15 to 20 seconds trying to loosen the whole body up, roll everything out. I think that's really important. And then when you're done, again, you can spend an additional 30 seconds to a minute, I would say, on each stretch that we just did. And even a little bit longer if you want to get a little bit of a deeper stretch, okay? Make sure you warm up that neck too. That's very, very important. And take your time when you're stretching your neck. Also very, very important. And make sure you go through a good sweat before you start exercising as well.